afterwards, Jack and I were trying to figure out, we were like, okay, wait, but like, where did we meet the guys? Like, they've just always been vibing, But I really do think it was through social media at first. And then I saw you at a First Friday and I was like, oh my gosh, it's them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. But yeah. But my name is Clo. Yeah, I'm from York as well, and I'm mainly a singer-songwriter. Also, I also own a small business for jewelry and graphic design. I'm getting into animation a little bit, and I've done a little bit of modeling, and it's all really, really fun. So, pass it back to you now.
Sorry. I just wanted to thank you guys again for this opportunity. I think that community is kind of part of what it means to be human. And I wanted to thank Austin especially for encouraging me to do this. I heard about talking in front of people. My palms immediately started sweating, as they are now. And emphasizing the point that we're not here to like speak from authority or anything like that is really helpful, to just be able to share kind of what we've come to learn along the way. So do you want to get into your background first, or should I go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So I've always kind of been drawn to music as a kid. I got my first drum kit for Christmas when I was like 5, and the family got earplugs for New Year's. So as I got a little bit older, I was able to get some more equipment and just kind of started imitating the producers that I really liked. I was learning about sampling, so I got a record player and started going to record stores in the area and just kind of chopping up songs and trying to make my own thing out of them. And then started working with some of my brother's older friends and just kind of making music for myself, but was pretty directionless, to be completely honest. I was always just doing it as my own thing until I got the courage to kind of like put it out there and started posting some of my beats online. Chloe ended up commenting on one of them, and I asked if she wanted to make a song from it, and we've been dating for 4 years.
It's been a long time. in the best way possible. But when I think about commenting emojis on Jackson's videos, I'm like, oh, okay, well. Yeah, it's like, what a way to flirt. But my killing it. My journey with music has been a really long one. I've been singing since I could talk, but I started songwriting seriously when I was like 13. I got into a band when I was in high school, around the age of 16, with a few really good friends, more of an acoustic thing, and I started doing some live shows, and it really just turned into such a beautiful outlet. I was really starting to enjoy myself, and then that was the time that I had met Jack as well, so it was just perfect timing, because I was literally like, as I was getting into songwriting more and more, looking up on YouTube, R&B type beats to like practice with and stuff. And then here's this guy that's in my homeroom class that has the same passion for it, and it just worked out beautifully. But continuing on with my creative journey, I did go to college for social work for 2 years. And I came to the conclusion after a while, and Jack helped me get there for sure, that I was putting more time into my plan B than my plan A. Like, I hadn't even given myself the opportunity to succeed when it came to art. It was like I had already decided I was failing. And so I decided to drop out after that. And that's when things really started to look serious for me, at least. I started to gain a little bit more confidence with my craft. And that was during the pandemic. And then I opened up my jewelry business then as well.
So I'd like to talk a lot about how others have helped me along the way, because that's where I've learned the most, was from conversation and being able to collaborate. So around the same time that Chloe and I met, I got an opportunity to intern at a local recording studio. It's called Studio 117 in York. Lee and Dell are the owners there. They're great guys. And just through kind of my own curiosity is what brought me there. I was always super fascinated in learning about, how to make my songs sound better, how to make the beats sound more professional. And so when I went in to meet them, I just had like too many questions. So they ended up letting me come in and intern for a while. And through the community that was utilizing the studio, I was able to get a really unique opportunity to practice mixing music. And if it wasn't for all of those people that were coming in and utilizing the creative space on a regular basis, I wouldn't have been able to kind of harness that opportunity to refine my skills. Additionally, it gave me an opportunity to kind of see this creative industry as a business as well, and being able to learn what it takes to really kind of monetize on that and see a career in music as a realistic endeavor. I learned a lot from both Lee and Dell while I was there. They have a really interesting dynamic, the two of them, because while everybody has an analytical and creative side, Lee is far more analytical and Dell sees things far more creatively. So being able to see how that would balance out helped me to kind of learn how to balance those two sides in my own brain as well. And Lee and Dell were some of my first, what I would call like creative coaches, so to speak. A lot of the time we would sit around and talk about, how sessions were going and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it's not hard to learn how to just hit record. The hard part of the job was always working with the creatives in the room and helping them feel comfortable and feel their most creative self. So being able to learn how to bring artists into a mindset of that was really helpful. And this is something I'm still learning every day. It's not easy, but it's really fun every time. And especially when I was first working there and even now, I deal with a lot of like imposter syndrome. So one of the things that Dell told me when I was working there is that, you're the professional in the room until you prove yourself otherwise. So if you're going to sit there and double speak on all of your decision making and go back on what you say, no one's going to take you seriously. You're only going to be taken as seriously as you take yourself. So learning that helped me to really kind of, solidify at least how I saw my skills in that realm. And then if it wasn't for all of the amazing musicians before me, I wouldn't have been able to emulate them and then from that try and create my own sound. So at first I was imitating artists like Ninth Wonder or Knowledge, just ripping all these different samples and having a good time with that. And if it's not for them, I wouldn't be able to make the music I do today. I believe that there's a lot to learn from mentors who aren't people in real life as well. So I listen to a lot of interviews and stuff online from people that I admire. And a specific conversation between Pharrell Williams and Rick Rubin had some points that I thought were really interesting. And it was the first time I ever heard that your creative ideas aren't your own. And the analogy that I like for this, and given that it's about open doors, is that if you think of a revolving door, the ideas are the people passing through. Your brain is just the door. And if anyone's ever had an idea and they didn't share it quickly enough, or something like that, eventually somebody else does, it's not because they stole your idea. It's because it was time for that idea to come out. You can only pass around through a revolving door for so long. Eventually you got to get out of there. So I thought that was a really cool way of seeing things and being able to kind of separate myself from the creative ideas I was having, reminding me that it's really just a muscle. And the more you show up, the more often you'll be able to get ideas that are worth sharing. So do you want to talk about the...
Sure. We're really great at like transitioning into these different, as you can see. But piggybacking off of what he said before I get into open doors, we've both kind of been into Rick Rubin podcast right now. I will say I stole that from Jack a bit, but okay, he did have a book come out. It's a really nice book. I haven't read it yet, but I I can tell by the cover, guys. But just seeing your creativity as a vessel, I've never really been fully defined as any religion. I believe I am a religious person, but even just seeing your creativity as another side of you, or maybe something that the universe is gifting you in the moment, is such a beautiful thing, because I think it puts off some of the imminent pressure and doom that you feel when you start something and suddenly it disappears and it's no longer there. Being able to put it down and go about your life and having that faith that it's going to come back around to you has been a really beautiful thing for me, at least right now. But when it comes to open doors, I feel like I didn't always have that mindset. My mindset was a bit more toxic in high school. I feel like when you're that young, it's really easy to feel like you're being pitted against other people, when in reality there's so much room for so many different kinds of people, and we're all unique no matter how hard we try to imitate each other or get inspiration from each other. And that was a really hard thing that I had to learn, because I was boxing myself in so much because of the spaces that I was in. I wasn't getting constructive criticism from people that made me a little nervous. I think I had a lot of fear when it came to rejection and everything, but being in this community, especially with Silo, has really, really helped me break out of that. And I've found some beautiful things when it comes to talking to people that you wouldn't normally talk to, and getting the courage to just be yourself in all situations, and people can take it or leave it. So it's been really refreshing to realize that music is meant to be shared. Art is meant to be shared. It's not supposed to be a lonely journey. It's not meant to be a lonely journey. And definitely being in this relationship and, friendship and music collaboration with Jack as well has really taught me that we can add really beautiful things to what we do together and separately with each other. And I've seen that a lot in this community as well, when it comes to collaborations and songs, creative photo shoots, everything. It's so beautiful to see people's ideas bounce off of each other in such a vibrant way.
I think I just got friend zoned in 4K. I don't know if anybody saw it. But yeah, sorry. So meeting Chloe has definitely helped make my purpose more clear. Before, I was just making beats and just like sitting them on my hard drive, like that's it. But coming to learn that can be a true canvas for somebody to tell their story has really helped me to see what the benefit of that can be. You've helped to provide me mindset and really balance me out as well. And without community, I wouldn't have been able to get the opportunity to develop my skills and share what I do. I wouldn't have been able to see a career doing what I love, and I wouldn't have been able to learn what networking is and how to do it effectively and genuinely. And I wouldn't have been able to truly lead with love and being able to share other people's stories. Do you want to add anything before this last? Okay.
I'll add a little bit. No, you're fine. I wish I didn't miss it. I definitely agree when it comes to the community thing, and within meeting each other, but also within being in a space like what Gavin and Austin have brought to the table tonight and so many times before, is such a beautiful and courageous thing. And I found it within social media as well. I've kind of felt the negative and positive, I feel like, of trying to navigate Instagram. But one thing I will say is I regret not putting connections in front of follower counts at times, because I think I met Helen through Instagram originally, and then I saw her beautiful face in downtown New York as well, and I was like, oh my gosh. But those kinds of connections are so beautiful, and if I use it more as a tool for that, I think it really is a huge open door. It's really hard to find a balance with it, mental health wise, for sure, but it's definitely opened up some big doors for me when it comes to meeting people in this community. And if it wasn't for community, we would have no way to share what we do with the world and hear what other people do, which it's just a beautiful cycle, I feel, of inspiring each other and motivating each other to keep going. Because I always feel like with these events, at least for me, they come at the right time. And I leave feeling really rejuvenated and refreshed. And that's just such a beautiful thing that we can do that for each other. And this year, at least, a goal of mine is to really help people's visions come to life when it comes to all aspects of what we do, whether it's music or graphic design or making jewelry for somebody's photo shoot, whatever it is. I want to be able to support people in every way that we can.
Thank you. Thank you.